Welcome back to The Price of Business. This is William Edmundson filling in for Kevin Price. We're glad to have you here where we're talking about you and your business. I'd like to welcome our next guest to the show. She is a CPA located here in Spring, Texas, and a first-time participant on the show. Sandra Finch with FinchCPAFirm.com is her website. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much.
Well, we're glad to have you on here.
I'm glad to be here. It's tax season around here, but that means we're just excited and busy and ready to talk about what we like to do best. Actually, tax season for us is a little bit different because we're not so big about staying in the past and looking at last year's tax returns. What we like to do is start planning for 2016 last month. We really like planning. A lot of CPAs, they know their bag of tricks, their handful of deductions, and that's great if you've already had your tax year and you know the rules. But what we do is more strategies around business environment and specific customized sort of plans once we hear the story that that particular entity has.
Gotcha. Yeah, that is important. Well, let me ask you, this time of year, is this when you see all of the people that you deal with lining up, wanting to get an appointment so they can get their taxes done on time, pulling out those shoe boxes and ready to go?
Well, actually, we kind of see some of that. Mostly, we deal with businesses who, and yes, we're doing their individual returns too of the shareholders or the business owners, but we've usually seen most of our clients all year long. We've seen them in January to talk about how do you want this year to look? What do you want your business to gross? What do you think is going to happen here? And then what tax bracket is that going to put you in? And what can we do for maybe put in a retirement plan? Maybe we've got some assets you need to buy or a vehicle, and we can talk about special depreciation deductions. Maybe you're not so sure because of the economy right now. Maybe you want to wait till June or July. So then we'll do a mid-year plan, and we'll say, okay, how'd you do the first 6 months? Looks like you're on target. Let's make sure we get that retirement plan in place because you have to do those before October. Let's make sure that if there's anything else that's going on with you, that we can structure. Everything with the IRS is about structure, and there's 75,000 pages of tax code. So if we can hear your story, we can usually figure out a structure that's going to work better for you than it would for your next door neighbor or what you did last year. So it's all about, we call it design your own tax return so that you're in charge of what's going on. Now, and as far as 1040s go, our market is really geared toward the business owner and how that business income flows into his personal tax return. So we see a few shoe boxes, but not so many.
Great. Well, I know in the companies that I've run, it's real important for us to have that planning as not just something you do at the end of the year, but something that, as you say, you talk about at the beginning of the year, you talk about it each quarter, and that way things can be adjusted to really help you come out where you need to come out.
Absolutely. And it helps to get the clients, the business owners, involved in that so that they get to hear, okay, well, these are the things I could do. These are some things I could do that would not only decrease taxes but put away some money for me for retirement and a lot of times people go, oh, I don't want to do that because if I put away for me, I've got to put away for every employee I have. And what we say to that is, well, those employees kind of helped get you where you are, A. And B, I've never seen it in a certain type of plan that we use that you're not saving more in tax dollars than you are in what you're putting away for the employees. So it's a win-win-win, great for morale, great to feel like you're on top of things and proactive.
Well, and that does make you feel, or your employees feel like they are the employer of choice, and that makes a difference.
Oh, it really does. It's part of the, they say your employees are your first customer or client. And if you're being good to them and you're keeping that morale up, then you're probably doing everything you can to make next year's profits and gross revenues higher and higher. So we just like to make sure that we get that tax bill as low as we can get it. And let's say you're even maybe not having a good year. You need to know that mid-year, because you don't want to be, paying in a bunch of taxes or paying a bunch of salaries or doing things that worked last year for tax mitigation, when this year you don't really need that much in tax mitigation. You need those dollars in your pocket or in your company bank account to use them for working capital. So you don't want to pay taxes either. So it's just knowledge. It's just about knowing where are you and in the tax arena, and it's like a checkup.
Well, and that's one of the things. I know you have specific education that helps you deal with some of these situations and lets you help your clients plan it out accordingly.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of funny rules that go, like people go out and form an LLC, and they don't have any idea that is just a matter of how you are incorporated at the state level, which in our case is Texas. But how you want to be taxed as an LLC is kind of a free-for-all. You can pick, it's called check the box, and you can pick to be taxed as a C corporation or an S corporation, and if you don't know what any of that means, then it really helps to have somebody who's got years and years. I've got 30 years in the business. I've got a staff that's, outshines any staff, I think, and, we've just got all of this base of knowledge to look at your situation and say, you know what, you need one of these and not one of those, or your structure needs to be an S corporation, at least for this year and maybe the next 2 years, and then maybe you want to convert to a C corporation. It's not one size fits all, or else everybody would have the same thing.
If it were easy, anyone could do it, right?
Yes, and it's not that easy, but it can be simplified and structured in a way that it makes it easy for the business owner to use.
Sure. Well, Sandra, tell the listeners how they can reach you.
You can call us at 281-379-1040, or you can go to our website and look around there and email us. There's a Contact Us page, which is at finchcpafirm.com, and that's Finch like the bird.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for coming on. We're glad to have you on The Price of Business. And we'll be back with more of The Price of Business after this.